Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming to witness for my beautiful mother. My name is Paul Reis, as many of you may or may not know. I'm her fourth child. First of all, I'd like for everyone to welcome my mom back. For almost a year, she has not been at St. Margaret Mary physically. She was there in spirit. I've had clients from St. Margaret Mary that before discussing business say, "Paul, how was your mother?" It was my mom first. Business came after. And they said that church is not the same without her there. I go to Mass and she's not there. When is she coming back? I say, I honestly don't know. If any of you are there, here she is, she's back. She's a member of this community and her spirit will stay there, I promise you. The past few days have been filled with bombardment of lovely memories of my mom. Sleepless nights have been spent walking down memory lane in search of some sort of peace and comfort, echoing from the past I have with my mom. My mom, Shirley, was not famous or of any great notoriety according to the world standards, we know that. However, I looked at a lot of you here tonight, the phone calls I've received in the past few days, members of the family, the cards, the flowers, consolation of friends, and then you begin to realize the impact that mom had. So I think to myself, what exactly do I want to recall from her life? What do I want to remember of my mother? What about her personality? What gifts did the Lord send to me and to all of you via the life of Shirley Reis? The first thing that comes to mind, instead of saving it for the last, is I am grateful most for the gift of my faith that was born by my mother. My mother understood the marriage commitment, that salvation for your children starts with the parents. She knew that so well. And thus, in conjunction with my father, gave me the building blocks and cement necessary to form a concrete faith that early in my life may have been scattered, but has been put together, and that foundation is strong, thanks to my mom. My mom gave me Christ, therefore she gave me the keys to eternal life to open the doors of my faith. This is a priceless gift, and a gift that not only rewards me, but rewards many of you, and for which I guarantee you she is now being rewarded in ways that we cannot imagine. I will also remember my mom as a loving servant, as a humble servant. The countless pizza parties, dinner parties, pies, cakes, cookies, hours spent with the children of 231st Street in Florence, teaching, taking care of all of us crazy neighborhood kids. The list goes on. I remember seeing her with the teenagers in our neighborhood, my older brother Tom and Mike, up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Their parents didn't care, they knew she was Shirley. Why? Because she was counseling them. All the angst, all the anxiety, they'd be with mom. They would sit there and talk for hours because they needed someone else to help them out, and mom was there. To sum it up, in kind of a nutshell, something came to me recently. In 1993 and 1994, our neighbor Gerald Slater was determined to have terminal cancer. Her parents did not have a bathroom facility when he was next to dying. Looked like a cadaver himself. My mom and dad had a large sauna tub, which at that time was rare. She would take that man into her bathtub and bathe him in absolute humility. Christ said for us to wash each other's feet. My mom went beyond that. And she bathed this grown adult man because he was suffering in pain and dying. And he did pass away. But I remember that. I thought to myself, how do you do that? How do you lay yourself out like mom did? To do that, she humbled herself, bathing him so he could find comfort and peace, even if for a brief moment. So in many moments we could all think about, similar to this and others, she imitated Jesus Christ and lived the gospel that she proclaimed. She reached out so many ways, and I know that my mom gave up a great portion of her life so that I could have a life. I remember the way she loved my son and my granddaughters. There was always a special connection between John Paul, Carla, and Samantha that I can't put my finger on, but only they can feel in their hearts. I'm just grateful she shared such great love with my children and granddaughters and gave them life gifts. My mom also, as mentioned before, was a creative artist. We all know her forte was in the sewing arts. My mom created countless needleworks, prom dresses, handmade beaded, elaborate wedding dresses that would make even the best designers cry. She ran her own business for years, helping to bring extra income into the home to take care of her children. I remember the late nights she would almost never sleep, trying to finish her next masterpiece. She taught me many of the business skills I use to this day on a daily basis. My creative side was forged by her, and that is how I make a living today. My mom didn't just give me a fish for one day. She gave me the proverbial gift of being able to fish for the rest of my life, continue in business, aided by the creativity she taught me. Humor. Many of you who knew Mom know she had a great sense of humor. We don't think about it that often. She taught me how to use humor as a way to combat sadness and hard times, to the point where some may think it's cold. I remember our house often filled with laughter and joking. I remember writing letters home from boot camp, letting her know how often there would be some kid out there joking around and laughing and constantly getting punished for it. But I know that for everyone else going through that experience with me, they loved it and it helped them out and got them through it. Today I just pulled out all the letters my mom sent to me in boot camp. There's a lot more of them than this, but it was great to reminisce. Most of the letters were written on the back of menus. This one has a big juicy steak. Some of the other ones had Denny's layout of pies and dessert. For those of you who've been through boot camp, this is contraband. So Mom had a sense of humor. Although I may have gotten in trouble and punished for joking around, none of them ever caught. The pictures, the jokes, the quick quips that she would have in there about what was going on at home. She wanted to make me laugh because she knew what I was going through. One of the lines in her letters I read today stated, "Glad to hear the drill sergeants haven't stopped trying to kill you off. Thanks, Mom." Comforting words to someone living in near hell. And another letter telling me about Dad saying he could fix the kitchen sink in half an hour. And I quote, "Ha, he means half a day." To this day, thanks to her, I continue to have a lively, friendly personality due to my wit and humor taught to me by my mom. Mom especially played a part in the lives of everyone on 231st Street. She will now join our loved ones Gerald, Mo, Norma, and Ryan, who I imagine were waiting for her with open arms saying, "Welcome, Shirley. The Lord has had us prepare a place for you. And by the way, we're expecting some of your pie." So there's a bit of humor and love mixed together. Just like my mom, humor and love. But yes, let us remember the humility, love, service, and caring Shirley gave to so many, as I dwell lovingly on the faith, humble service, creativity, and humor that Mom gave to me. I'm glad last Sunday I had my chance, as I did so many times, to say goodbye. I love you, Mom. I'll see you again as soon as I can. So yes, I will see her soon, and the goodbye was only temporary. My mom is now preparing my place in heaven, and I also know the Lord will have a new quilt for Christmas. Well, maybe. Thank you.